April 1970. 3 astronauts were on their way to the moon. It was supposed to be a routine mission, nothing historic, nothing dramatic, just another step in the space race. But 200,000 miles from Earth, something exploded, and suddenly, the moon didn't matter anymore. Survival did. Apollo 13 had launched perfectly. The rocket roared, the engines burned bright, and the spacecraft slipped smoothly into orbit. Everything looked normal. The crew joked with mission control. They had done this before. The systems were stable, the numbers looked good. Then came a simple command: stir the oxygen tanks. It was a routine procedure, something they had practiced many times. Seconds later, a loud bang echoed through the spacecraft. The entire vehicle shook. Warning lights flashed across the control panel. One oxygen tank had exploded. The second was failing. Without oxygen, the fuel cells would die. Without fuel cells, there would be no power. Without power, the spacecraft would slowly freeze and lose communication with Earth. This was not a minor issue. This was the kind of failure that ended missions and lives. "Houston, we've had a problem." The words were calm, controlled, but inside that small capsule, the reality was terrifying. They were too far from Earth to turn back directly, too fast, too committed to their trajectory. The lunar landing was canceled instantly. The mission was no longer about exploration, it was about getting home. The lunar module, designed to land 2 men on the moon, became a lifeboat for 3. It was cramped, underpowered, never meant to sustain a full crew for that long. Carbon dioxide levels began to rise. The filters on board did not fit the command module system. On Earth, engineers scrambled to invent a solution using only the materials the astronauts already had. Inside the spacecraft, temperatures dropped close to freezing. Water condensed on the walls. The astronauts wore their suits to stay warm. They barely slept. Every movement had to be calculated to conserve power. They needed the moon's gravity to swing them back toward Earth like a slingshot. If their engine burn was off by even a small margin, they would miss Earth entirely and drift into deep space forever. As they rounded the moon, they could see its surface passing beneath them, so close to their original goal, and yet completely unreachable. Re-entry would be the final test. The heat shield might have been damaged by the explosion. If it failed, the capsule would burn up in the atmosphere. Communication blackout during re-entry usually lasted a few minutes. This time, it lasted longer and longer. No signal, no voice, just silence. Every second felt heavier than the last. Then finally, a crackle of sound, a signal, and soon after, parachutes opened in the sky above the Pacific Ocean. Apollo 13 had survived. It was later called a successful failure. They never reached the moon, they never completed their mission, but they returned alive. And sometimes, in space, survival is the greatest victory of all.